All right. I'm Ellie.
I'm Lachlan.
And we're from Lande, and this is our Malvern House. This project is about a tired house, a retiring couple, and a critique of how we build now compared to the turn of the century.
Working with a couple approaching retirement, thoughts progress more broadly to the concept of time, ageing, and legacy. The existing house is a freestanding Victorian weatherboard cottage. This is an era of which we're used to working, and as a new practice, we wanted to critique this Victorian era and find out why they seem transgenerational in their appeal. Seeming to tug at the heartstrings of all generations, themes of memory, nostalgia, and a sense of romance run through. These seem to materialise into details and features such as lace fretwork, tall skirtings, glossy architraves, chalky cornicing, and intricate ceiling roses. Developing this thought, it became clear that they all had one thing in common. They all concealed the shortcomings of the tradespeople and craftsmen of their day. A thought emerged: what would tradespeople of then think of the way we build homes today, equipped with all the technologies and tools we have in our quiver? We wanted to exemplify what can be done with heritage housing stock.
Malvern House has been designed for a retiring, downsizing couple which had been searching for their ideal retirement setting for a few years. Having lived in the immediate vicinity for 30 or so years, their net wasn't one cast wide, but rather one cast with precision and patience. They finally settled for an almost their house and engaged us to rethink the inadequate living spaces of the new purchase. Tasked with delivering more living space with better and more meaningful function, we set out to understand how we could cater to a couple who were learning how to do less.
This couple with one foot into retirement wanted to future-proof themselves and their children, which would one day inherit the home. Visions of family gatherings and Christmases were shared with us, and we worked to deliver dynamic and functional spaces which could adopt with them. Key to the brief was the ability to integrate between spaces, natural light and fresh air into the home. Internal courtyards, seamless thresholds, and soaring glass invites the outside in, while the stone selection and concealed skylight quite literally bring greenery and light into the home.
Connection to the garden spaces was very important to the clients, and we implemented 7 different garden spaces servicing every room in the house. These deliver an abundance of fresh air, light, and a sense of space, bolstering an economic footprint. Readdressing the question, what would tradespeople of then think of the way we build homes today? We present this project as an antithesis in many ways to the Victorian era of building. Instead of concealing the shortcomings of trades, we instead seek to express their ability and accuracy.
Implementing our philosophy of quiet architecture, our additions play a second fiddle to the original house and quietly nestle down the side of the cottage. Filtered by planting and landscape elements, these pods accommodate a reading room, a walk-in room, and an ensuite. Attempting to appear ephemeral in existence, these pods gently hang off the old weatherboard walls, which still read internally. Solid boundary treatments visually allow the pods to hang over the ground cover and landscaping below, amplifying the feeling of light and airy. Internally, screens and windows allow filtered light to trickle or stream in while enjoying crossflow ventilation in a garden setting. These pods could also be gently removed in the future without disrupting the original building.
Continuing the widely implemented strategy of touching softly, the new and old buildings are connected via a slender glass walkway. This is open on both sides to the courtyard and amplifies the sense of transition between new and old. The ability to enjoy the quaint features of the cottage from the new area is something we celebrate, with large picture windows from the dining framing the greenery against the weatherboards to the east, a curated and poetic look back at the old from the new.
Our philosophy of no more but no less than what is necessary sees us often bolster an economical floor plan with a sense of additional space borrowed from the landscape. Obvious strategies like large uninterrupted glazing achieves this here, while a structural economy is achieved by a rigid obedience to a grid. By utilising a 5 metre or less grid, we were able to keep structural elements affordable and easily erected, finding a structural frugality. A seemingly floating roof suspends behind the glazing, which extends up to the roof line, and timber screens emerge from brick walls. This house, with an abundance of northern aspect, had to deal with natural light through materiality and designed operability. The internal courtyard delivers light into the centre of the living spaces year-round.
Softening this rigid architecture is the landscape. The organic forms of crazy paving and cut boulder steppers softens the rigid set-out of the house and creates pockets for the owners to occupy, like a fire and conversation pit to the rear.
Tired of living in white houses all their lives, and with an abundance of northern aspect, this was never going to be a dull and blank canvas. Implementing timeless natural materials, which will age and patina with time, we again reference the idea of time, aging, and legacy. Spotted gum ceilings and wall linings mean there is no plasterboard in the new build, and stone and concrete give inherent natural tactility underfoot. The green kitchen acts as a bold but subtle connection between several green spaces. Masonry, used both internally and externally, helps blur the line between inside and out, and the thermal mass, along with the slab, ensures reduced energy bills in retirement.
Initial exploration of Victorian heritage colours led us to this green marble. The poetic symbology of bringing green nature into the house was not lost on us. It's an element which connects green spaces through the house and reveals itself and its details as you approach and use it.
Like the pods at the front and the glass walkway in the middle, the considered placement of a skylight behind the overhead kitchen cupboards is a reminder that small gestures can create significant outcomes. The light floods the splashback, highlighting the detail in the stone, and brings a dynamic focal point to the room.
Operability of both a retractable awning over the courtyard and a timber screen to shield from the west. It gives the client the flexibility to react to their environment and drastically changes the feel of the spaces, both throughout the day and the year.
As our first real project with real clients, we feel that this has helped form principles which underpin our practice moving forward. We couldn't have asked for more trusting and brave clients, and would like to thank them for putting a lot of faith in us so early on. And thank you for your time.